All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Hajime no Ippo, episode 74. Whoa, all right, y'all. We are headed into the 5th round between Sendo and Ippo.
Yep.
And it's a doozy right now. Lollapalooza.
Indeed. Ippo has started to bring things back around, though.
Yep.
He was on the ropes, both metaphorically and literally
and
for
physically.
a while.
Yeah. Holy crap. And then he gazelle punched Sendo with this crazy kind of utilization of it as kind of a counter after he had been dealing with Sendo's feints and what have you. Basically found a way to incorporate his own and ended up getting this really solid punch in. Now, they're both not really fighting at like anywhere near 100% at this point.
No.
So in the 5th round, will this be more of the neither of them can defend kind of round where they each just take punishment, or this be neither of them can fully attack, so it's more of the awkward thing of just do whatever you can and just try to stay up.
More of a slugfest, but like a haggard slugfest kind of.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But y'all, this might be the final round of the fight.
It might be.
And oh my god, what a fight it's been. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this now.
We're not going to have this OP for much longer.
Yeah, we've got at least a couple more episodes, though, after this.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there have been discussions apparently had just about a movie and an OVA that'll be happening pretty soon after this first release of episodes for Ippo happened. So yeah, get hyped for those.
Right, because this has all technically been like the first season.
The first season, technically, but it's like, you know, it's Madhouse. They don't do seasons. back in the day when, you know, Hunter x Hunter and Ippo and
Monster.
Like, yeah. They just like, I would just do the whole show, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, until we aren't going to do it anymore.
Right.
All right. Yeah, it is exciting to be on the other side of the OP. I think you've mentioned that a couple times now, but like the OP doesn't really tell us anything more about how it's going to go.
Nope.
Oh. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh. Mix up.
Okay.
All right.
序盤は退きながらパンチを受けていた。しかし今のラウンドは前進しながら仙道のパンチを受けている。気合が乗ってる時には自覚症状はねえんだ。だがそれは確実に突然襲ってくる。
Whoa, okay. All right.
が一気に吹き出し、いきなり体が言うこと聞かなくなるんだ。倒れようもんならまず立ち上がるのは不可能だ。
ようだった。お前やないと立たれへんかった。にしてもとことん相性の悪い選手や。幕の内が強いんや。
Stupid tough. This panicky cello is really like interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected it in a boxing show. Then it becomes the real deal.
Yeah. Oh. Wait, what was that?
Right, just going right to it.
Yep. Oh, and Sendo comes in as well. Oh,
and gets stopped.
Yeah, 1-2 combo.
Yeah.
Oh, Oh! Oh!
Ah, mix up.
Yeah, yeah.
Are we getting backstory?
Yeah, we are. We are. Oh, here we go. We're gonna cry, aren't we?
Oh my god.
バカな。たった一人でうちの練習生を。
ボクサー言うからどない強いんかと思ったらこの程度とはの強いやつはおらんのか。わいは自分がどれほど強いか知りたいんや。
我が倒したんはまだまだ青二歳の練習
Yeah.
息があるんやったらほんまもんのボクサー倒してからにするんや。
Oh.
He knows how to get him.
Yeah, yeah.
ほんまもんがどないなもんか。早い見せてもらえないかい。
Oh. Whoa. The restraint.
Yeah.
Well done.
わいはボクサーいや元ボクサーいう方が正しい。
Classic. Coaches are all retired boxers, you know?
Right.
リングに上がったら我なんぞチンケに見えるで。会長聞いてください。すごいやつに出会うたんですよ。狂犬みたいな男なんですわ。強さに飢えてますね。
お前が勝ったいう話やないか。
いや、長丁場になれば
Oh.
あれはただものやない。日本ランキング1位までしか行かれへんかったウワイの夢、あの男なら叶えてくれるはずや。
Oh.
何やあれチャンピオンやなかったんかい。我が1位かい。ならチャンピオン言うんはえらい強いんやろの。
ああ、強いで。
リングに上がっとったらそいつにいつか出会えるんやな。
ああ、会えるで。
合わせてもらおうやないけ。日本一強い男に。
驚かせよる。いきなり日本一やと。
Yeah.
大口叩きよって。
その時必ずわいが日本一やと証明したるわ。
All right, Caesar, let's
Yeah.
let's see it.
Uh-huh.
目の前におるんがお前の会いたがってい
Oh,
る。
all right.
飢えてるお前を唯一満腹にしてくれる男や。
The Tiger of Naniwa.
Yep.
その男に勝てば誰もが認めるで。勝って日本一の証明。
Whoa.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, crap. Oh.
That's the face of a tiger, all right.
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
Wow.
かなりやばい角度で入ったぞ。
血見て
Oh.
一歩手出せ。抵抗しろ。
We've never seen Takamura get like
Yeah, yeah,
this.
yeah.
攻めろ。攻めてないと緊張感途切れちゃうぞ。
Oh, crap. Yeah, 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 I know. Oh, he missed. Oh!
Oh.
Oh!
Oh.
Oh!
Oh no.
Oh my god! Holy crap!
All right. All right.
どの試合通じて初のダウン。
Oh yeah, against the
Yeah.
at all.
Yep.
攻めながら倒しきれんという図式を断ち切った。
He doesn't even know what happened.
Yeah.
Use the. Okay, he's got the back. Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
All right.
Whoa!
立てたことが奇跡に近い。
Here we go. Yeah, here comes the smash. Oh!
Oh, come on, Evo.
Oh! Oh, crap. Oh, he can't fall here. If he does, it's over, right?
I can't remember if it was 2 or 3. Okay, yeah, so it's not automatic.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I think 3 is automatic. Yeah.
The crowd. The crowd.
Uh-huh.
Oh. Mmm. Oh my gosh. This is the halfway point, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yep,
I think
yep,
so,
yep.
yeah.
Uh-huh, yeah.
縦線の時と同じ倒れ方。
Oh.
タオル投入は正しい判断。
Whoa, he's giving Ippo a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, Ippo.
気持ちよくなるパンチもらったのは初めてだ。
Whoa. Whoa.
このまま目を
Oh, this is the part in the OP.
Yeah.
It makes him feel like he can rest now.
だけど
And that he lost to someone, like, so good.
Uh-huh.
考えるな。もう目を閉じよ
Whoa.
う。届かなかった。
Come on, it's not over
目
yet.
を閉じれば楽になれる。
何を考えてるんだ僕は。
That's right. We came here to win.
あの時と同じ
Right.
思いをまたしたいのか。
Yeah. Yeah.
僕はあの時と同じじゃない。同じ。
Wow.
All right.
挑戦者たった。驚きです。
I like that they didn't even give us the count.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
唖然として挑戦者を見つめる。
Oh. Oh. All
right.
He's got the look in his
Let's
eyes.
do this.
Yeah, now he's excited.
Uh-huh.
Now he's like, you're worthy. Let's go.
You can't get knocked down again. I mean, there's not much time left.
Are they
but-
going to end this round? No, there should be like 20 seconds left. Like,
たまるか。
ここで終わったら以前と同じよ。わしはその山な鍛え方はせん。
oh, let's go.
一段上に立るはずや。伊達線を越えてみせい。ここまで後家にしくさったり。
Oh,
All right. Okay.
okay. Okay, one more fall will end it automatically. Okay, okay.
後家にされたわけやない。倒しきれんワイが甘いんや。ワイのパンチより幕の内の根性の方が上回っとるんや。それを上回るパンチ入れたるわい。
Oh, the music.
Yeah.
兵士の獲物に
Oh,
牙が突き刺さる。
Yeah.
つなげきれる。
oh my god. Oh, yeah. Oh, broke his ribs.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
きしみよる。
Oh,
こんな力残しとったっけ。
oh, Sendo. Sendo, no. Oh, I got him again.
Oh.
全に俺。
Oh.
だけど幕の内が耐えとる限り。
He's like, I can too.
Yeah, this is the end of Sendo here.
Oh my god. Oh.
伊達さん以上だ。
And dodge this one. No way.
この人に勝てれば。
Oh, this hurts my stomach.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
Oh.
Crap.
Oh. Oh.
チャンピオンの勢い。
Oh. Oh, man.
Wow. And Ippo knows what he's doing. He's aware that the only... Oh.
Oh.
Repeated destruction.
Well, and so similar to last time, will Sendo be able to stand back up?
Yep, yep.
ワイと貴様の勝負は
Because he's going to.
どちらかの
Whoa. Yeah, yeah, he... Oh my god.
man.
Sendo, no. Come on.
強いって
Oh.
強いって
The one who mistake the place to live with the place to die again. Oh, wait, that's... Right. Okay.
All right.
Oh my god.
Okay.
さすればおのずと答え。
Okay, I love it when shows play the OP during an epic fight, but playing the ED during an episode, I love that even
Yeah,
more.
because it's the threat
Yeah.
of...
This
Holy
is
crap.
the end.
Well,
Like,
because if Sendo keeps fighting like this, and takes more punishment,
yeah,
his life will be in danger.
Yep.
Because he could crush a lung. He could crush an organ.
Mm-hmm.
If the ribs break and then pieces
like,
hit something,
yeah,
it's a serious problem. Jeez. Oh, he's going again.
Oh, man.
Oh, there it is. You're doing it, Umezawa. Oh, everyone's getting the cheers now. Ah! with the Lollapalooza. Wow. Oh my god. Oh, Kumi. But it's so painful to look at.
He wants to so bad. He wants to so bad.
Wow. He can tell how bad it's getting.
Come on, say it, Mashiba! Could break. They're breaking.
Yeah.
Right in front of your eyes.
I just love everything's shaking and just... They're in now. Oh, he's hypnotized by the...
Wow, yeah.
Oh, that's it. That was straight from the OP. Oh. Oh. Jeez, that's straight from the OP too.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, that's that's the body blow.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. This hurts.
Oh man,
this hurts.
On a larger stage.
Okay. I'm not ready for them to show the ribs again. Like, okay, that's a headshot there. Whoa!
Holy
Come
crap.
on, Ippo!
Is this it?
Oh, they're gonna end the episode
there?
Come on!
Oh, come on! No!
Wow. That brings a whole new look at the ED, though.
Yep.
Because it's the fight.
Oh.
God, I hope they don't, I hope they don't end this with Sendo being,
Oh, but that is how it's gonna happen.
I know, but they know
it's gonna happen.
But the thing is that you don't know what I'm about to say.
Okay.
I hope they don't end this with Ippo killing Sendo. Please just let it just be that his career is over, that he got to fight the strongest.
Though. The best we can hope for is that Sendo's career will be over and he'll be alive.
Well, I think the best is more like he goes on a year of, recovery,
Oh, I don't think. Oh.
No. He could recover. It's just, would he box after that? I'm talking about with the place to die.
Place to die.
I can't help myself dreaming the same dream. All right, what do we got to say, y'all? This is do or die almost at this point. Oh man,
yeah.
Sendo, I think
this is.
I think I mentioned something about the idea that there would be some kind of unintended consequence of Ippo having to
because they had to. That was with how it had been built up. They had to.
Well, no, I don't think they had to. I think that this is just the perfect way to do it. Because I was thinking more along the lines of he'd have to hit Sendo until Sendo literally couldn't
Right.
Like, couldn't get up, not because of his physical muscles, but because of just the overall punishment he had taken. But I didn't think they'd go so specific, is my point, was that, like, they went towards, no, he's going to shatter his rib cage. His right rib cage is going to be shattered.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like,
And because the thing is that both of them had such, they were so resolute going into this fight, right? So you can't just have them like even with the knockdowns that happened this episode. Ippo got knocked down twice. They didn't even focus on the first knockdown. It was just like, yeah, he got knocked down, but Ippo's gonna get back up. It's when he gets knocked down a second time that they're like, all right, now let's actually show his thought process here, right? So, same thing for Sendo, right? He's gotten knocked down, twice, already?
Yeah, two different rounds.
Yeah, 2 different rounds.
The very beginning of the match.
Right. Then, exactly. And then before all this happened. So it's not something where, they'll just give up, right? Like, they will need to be scraped off the floor.
It was really exciting to have us get kind of enthralled into the match and then watch how all the spectators got enthralled into the match.
Yep.
So one of the things that they did this episode that was really cool was they kind of took the focus away from the fight for a brief bit. I'm talking after all the knockdowns from Ippo and after kind of him getting up and then the fight continuing and what have you. Sendo gets bloodied. His nose breaks or something.
Yeah.
Or something like that. He gets a bunch of blood on his face.
Yep.
He sees red and he goes nuts. He becomes an animal.
Yep.
We got his backstory and we'll discuss all that stuff eventually. But they took the latter half of this episode basically and focused on all the characters that are watching this and how they're all getting sucked into it to the point where the entertainment value of the fight increases to peak levels because of the danger that is also happening within the fight itself.
And I love how, because in like they in Ippo, it does this, and a lot of other stories will do this and stuff, where when you have people that you have experts on something present in the story so that they can help the audience see the nuance, right? Because the audience doesn't, even if the story educates you a bit about what's going on, you won't see all of the nuance right away, right? So, things like Takamura realizing how important the punch was that even Aoki and Kimura didn't quite realize, right? And then he, stands up and starts yelling at Ippo, right? And we haven't seen that happen before, which is great. But it's something where it wasn't any longer just people talking about the fight. They were getting intoxicated by the fight, right? Like all thought of everything else was just gone. They were right there. And I feel like that's a great example of how powerful that can be when you have people watching it, because that's what it's like in real life. If you're watching something, especially if it's something you're really passionate about and it gets that intense, then you have moments like that where thought of everything else just disappears, right? But I feel like in a lot of other stories, because it's trying to bring in technical aspects into the fight of like technical understanding for the audience, it loses out on this aspect of, let's not see the technical aspects of what people are observing about the fight. Let's just see how they are completely emotionally taken over by the fight, right? Because of the intensity of what happens. And especially for the case of someone like Takamura or the coaches, where this doesn't really happen. And now they're caught in this position where, okay, no, we actually can't throw in the towel now. Look at what they're doing. Yeah. They are putting life and limb on the line here, so that they can become their best self, and they're actively doing it.
Right.
What would be me to step in the way, right?
Right. And in some ways it turns things into this weird dichotomy of where if you end up getting sucked out of it, sucked out of it is not the right, because you're getting sucked into it is more the direct kind of thing. But if you get pulled in some ways out of it, it suddenly becomes horrific and terrifying. Because everyone is getting enthralled in the nature of this violent, bloody Lollapalooza slaughter fest going on, where they're pummeling each other's body to pieces. And no one knows what's going on in Sendo right now.
Right.
No one, not even Ippo necessarily. Well, no. I actually am gonna go out on a limb here. Go out on a
cracked limb.
Extend a bone to you, if you will. I think Ippo knows exactly what he's doing. I don't think he knows necessarily how much damage is being done.
But I focus on an area.
But I think he understands the idea of if you focus on a specific area, a liver blow, if you will,
right,
and just pummel that area again and again and again, hopefully he'll go down. But what's so cool about this is it turned the fight from being a we know Ippo's going to win kind of thing to a oh crap, Ippo already won. It's just a question of
how will this be drawn out?
How will this be drawn out?
And I love it.
And that's genius because we don't care anymore about that. We're just terrified about Sendo being done now.
Yeah.
Or dying.
Well, and yet at the same time, I really want to see just how far it will go. Just in the same way that the audience
you've
is
gotten
getting
sucked in,
intoxicated by it too. I am as well, right?
Right.
And because it's something where like,
yeah. I think that's what the genius of this scene is, don't you think? Is that you can get emotionally sucked in. And that's what they want you to have happen. You are a member of the audience. We are in the crowds cheering on, either one of these boxers. But there is the other characters that are like the Fuji and Imura, who are able to look at this a little bit more objectively because they're journalists, so they have to then take mental note of everything. So they're like, this is where limitations get broken. So they're aware.
Limitations are just suggestions at this point.
Well, I mean, like, yeah. Like, that human beings have actual physical limiters on us, right?
And it is possible to break them. And, and just decide, no, not gonna listen to you now.
It's why people can throw punches, but not shatter your wrist or what have you, because,
right.
Because you're basically holding back the actual driving force from your whole body and what have you. So,
well, it's the mom that picks the car up off of, the baby or whatever. Like
right.
It's that kind of stuff where it's like that shouldn't happen, right? That shouldn't be possible. And for these trainers that have been trying to help equip and spur and motivate their students, their prize pupils to surpass their limits. Here they're seeing them do it in real time, faster than anyone would ever normally do it before, at incredible cost to themselves. But if they're getting that and they're determining that it's worth the cost to be paid, then don't make their cost be for nothing by stepping in and stopping their progress. Like
it's also just for me, I can't help but literally feel like physical pain in this kind of area of my body right here every time the punch hits and we see the cracking of the bone. Because when this happens, to me, I'm actually pulled out. I'm no longer emotionally invested in the actual like hypnosis of this. I understand that it's there. But no, for me, I feel like in some ways it's perfect that you are, because I can then provide the other angle of things where it's like, no, this whole thing just turned into a horror episode. I'm now watching Ippo potentially kill someone. Like, here's something that I can't help but want to discuss here. What are some of the options of how this goes here? Let's just throw a bunch of them out there so we know what we're working with. Ippo wins. And Sendo gets varying degrees of physical
anywhere
injury.
from
cracked ribs, shattered ribs.
Well, and anywhere from it's something that he has to take time off to recover from, to he's never going to recover from it, to he's dead.
To he's dead.
Like punctures a lung, he bleeds, all that stuff, and he's gone.
Right. So here's what I'm like worst case scenario already thinking up right now. Ippo has been punching in that spot with his left. In some ways, that's something that gives me a little bit of relief and what have you. But there's a possibility that he hits with his right and crosses it and hits him like right here. So it's not like straight on drive where it's got maximum power.
If Sendo went for a smash and then after that he hit him with a right,
like an uppercut,
like when that spot was
like
exposed.
Yeah. It's not going to do as much damage. But if it keeps being a repeated instance of where the left hits that again and again, Ippo is stupid strong. So the difference between
their fists are lethal weapons.
Right. The difference between his right straight and his left cross isn't that dramatic.
Right.
They're still
both
ridiculously
are destroying
strong.
Whatever they hit.
Yeah, both are weapons that need to have licenses in order to carry, you know.
Right.
Like they're lethal. So if Ippo keeps hitting him there, which I think he'll need to do in order to stop him, at what point does Sendo go down? Well, if we're looking at this through storytelling conventions, Sendo told us, literally, what it will take for him to go down. And he said, one of us will have to die here. Now, one of the things that they also did this episode was they gave us backstory.
And how the scientific formula goes. Sudden backstory for a side character equals horrible, tragic death.
We all know this. The show is not a plot twisty kind of show.
And the thing is that the horrible tragic death can be done in multiple ways. Volg had a horrible tragic death.
Yes, he did.
Right?
Yes,
even though he didn't actually die. Right.
You
don't need to be killed in order to die.
Yeah.
So in this situation, Sendo could get out of it okay. in that
wink,
he just can never box again, and they could do a very good ending with that, with the granny that said, please put the fear of God into my idiot grandson, right?
Yeah.
And then suddenly, well, there you go, right?
And he's physically too traumatized to actually be able to box again, but he's still happy because he boxed against the strongest man in Japan.
Exactly.
So before we go too far into this, I just want to point out that those are the two big things I think that are going to happen. Is that regardless of how it ends, Sendo is going to be happy that he faced the strongest man in Japan, even if it's in his dying moments.
Yeah.
Second thing, there have been so many death flags that they just threw into things this episode.
Regardless of previous episodes
that regardless of whether or not Ippo wins that way, I think this show ending its first big season, if you will, in a Ippo, you killed someone's dream and gave them their dream in the same breath, in the same punch, if you will.
Yeah.
How are you going to feel about that?
Well, and the thing is that even if Sendo doesn't die, they could have it be something where he almost dies, where it's an actual point where people are concerned that oh my god, he might die, right?
And he goes to the ER.
Yeah, he goes to the ER. His lungs are punctured. There's a bunch of blood and things like that, and they need to operate him, all that stuff. And then Ippo has to think about it. All the kids that were watching Sendo and cheering him on have to think about it. And this becomes like a whole nother ball game, even though it's not a ball game. And then they can still have essentially the dramatic consequences of Sendo dying, even if he doesn't die, because he did still die in that. His career's over. He like, who knows if he'll even be able to function as a regular human being again. Like there's all kinds of things that could have happen here.
In some ways, I feel like one of the biggest things that they'll probably do, regardless of how this goes, is that it wouldn't be that if he died, he won't die in the ring. If anything, it'll be like, he's dying, please take him out on the stretcher, take him out there, and then like after an episode of Ippo maybe going to see him at one point, he's all tubed up and attached to things and what have you, and he's like, don't you dare feel sorry for me, like I had the best time of my life boxing you. So I feel like we're headed towards an emotional finale that is going to be dramatically amped up by the coming next episode, which I believe will have the final round.
I think so too.
I've been saying that for a while now, but I feel like this is now the final round, because one of the problems, if you keep punching the same spot where the main thing that gives you resistance is not really the muscles as much, but it's actually the rib cage itself. The rib cage goes down pretty far, especially on the side. But one of the terrifying things about what's underneath your rib cage
important stuff
is important stuff. But the big one,
that's why it's there,
right? But the big one is your lungs. Your lungs are the big one that big sacs. If he punches there again after ribs have already given way,
and they're sharp and pointy and all that,
one of the things that can happen is we just apply natural physics to this here. He will literally punch into his lungs, and it might be some anime level holification kind of stuff,
or just
or just and blood and everything.
Because one of the big thing I'm worried about is not actually if Sendo's lungs get punctured or his lung gets punctured, because it's just the one side. That's not what I'm worried about. I'm almost convinced that it's going to happen at this point, given how this is going, given the fact that they played the ED at the end.
But it's a difference of why you'd play the OP versus the ED.
Versus the ED. Yeah. And what I'm worried about is that it'll puncture. No one will know outside, and Sendo will still fight. Because that's the kind of person he is.
Well, okay.
And then,
but that's why I think it's almost has to be like this, because everyone will notice it.
Well, eventually.
Well, I meant Jacob. I'm talking about he punches the same area, and there's already one rib that's broken. It's just floating there. And his knuckles or what have you create an indent mark where the skin actually tears along the point of a rib.
So if
then creates a big bloody gash, because their shirts are off. It's going to have blood coming from the actual
except
spot.
That's one of the problems, is that internal bleeding. If you're punching and it's broken, the point is going to be going in. There could be I'm sure
that's why I'm saying that if the skin tears open, then there would be some blood coming out. That's the way that they can all know.
Oh, sure.
But you're saying before that point happens, it will bleed internally?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I could also see it being something where what they start noticing is not that he's bleeding here, is that there's blood coming from here.
That's more of a hyper dramatization kind of thing that doesn't usually happen as much.
Sure, yeah, maybe, but the what I love about this fight so much. So okay, let me just go into the whole EDOP thing for a second. So there was this show called Black Lagoon. This is a bit of a tangent, but it all ties back into it. And it had very much a grim outlook on everything, and you were kind of just waiting for the characters to end up dead, right? Because they were in a very dangerous line of work, right? And they would always play the ED towards the end of the episode when something really somber was happening, and the ED itself was grieving for someone that had died. That was the sort of tone that it had. This ED here is basically the same thing, in that it's talking about getting up again with my wounded body, talking about place to live to the place to die, and OPs are all about hype, right? It's getting you jazzed and energized for what's about to happen. EDs are for it's over.
Requiems.
Right? Requiems, right? It's the sadness in the morning and all of that, right? Because something has been ended, potentially, ideally,
or something
forever.
Is ending.
Or something is ending, right? Yeah. Exactly. And when you have the ED start to play, but it's not over.
Well, it did play the whole thing.
No. Yeah. It played through the whole thing.
Right.
But there's the ED playing, and then immediately goes into the ending of the show, and then it's okay, that's the end of the episode.
Right.
But when it plays during the show and it's not going into the ED, that means something else is ending.
Yeah.
That means something else is ending. And at best, it's Sendo's career. At best.
Yeah.
At worst, it's his life.
Yeah.
And Sendo will absolutely not have a problem with that if that's what happens, because he will be happy that he boxed Ippo. I think you hit the nail right on the head. But what about Ippo? Ippo, what will that do to Ippo to know that this person that was a friend of mine, he was a rival, but he was also a friend, I killed him. What will that do to our good boy?
Hey, Ippo, we always wanted you to get some killer intent.
No, right, exactly. Well, and the whole contrast of that is that they talk about, killer intent, and it's but that's not the kind of person Ippo is. Well, what happens when, intent or not, you became a killer?
Well, Okay. Here's the question. Do you think Ippo is aware of the damage he's doing to Ippo when he punches him there again and again?
I don't think he's fully aware. Like he knows he's hoping he's doing damage, but the extent, I don't think so.
So I think that what's going to happen is, regardless of how this ends, people like the Fujis and the Imuras, they're going to analyze this fight and break it down as probably one of the best. They're going to market it and be like, this is one of the best fights in all of boxing, history. This is like last decade, 20 years or something. And it'll go down as one of the greatest, fights and what have you. But Ippo will have the opposite kind of Date experience, where instead of looking at the TV and, regretting his loss, it might be regretting his victory. Yeah. And then he'll look at that and realize that, no, some part of him did know. Some part of him did know what he was doing. Yeah. Yeah. And that part of him scares him a little bit. Sure. So let's go now and recap the actual things in the episode. So we got backstory. We got to see Sendo at his cockiest, at his probably youthful brashness, and we understand where that came from. Oh, yeah. He has a lot of pride. Now, while he has a lot of pride, one of the things that's rather important here is that his trainer, scouted him and was like, I really want this guy. But Sendo was like, hey, I really not only want to show how strong I am, I want to go and face the strongest guy, and you'll take me there, right? You'll take me to this point. Now, in this episode, there was another death flag in that when Sendo said, hey, you fulfilled your promise, thank you. And he's like, whoa, that takes me back. By the thing that Sendo says, the promise of bringing me here is something that triggers the backstory recollection for us, which didn't necessarily reveal too much new info, actually. A lot of this was kind of assumed, but not necessarily changing. We didn't
see it happen.
Right, it didn't change too much of our opinions of Sendo. It was more interesting to see how the coach responded to Sendo. Yes. And if the coach is the one that doesn't throw in the towel and is reminded of his promise to bring Sendo here, he's going to have to also wrestle potentially of the, I helped him do this. He wanted this, but I'm partially responsible for this. I could see the coach also being done as a coach after this.
Oh, I could definitely see that. There are a few things I feel like that they've been doing here and there.
Set up.
And they've set up, and like one, just the whole thing with freaking the guy that faced Sendo before and got traumatized. Right, I forget his name for some reason. Shigeta, yeah. That was something where it's like, hey, we're bringing up the idea that there's permanent consequences to boxing, right? And that's literally right before, this all happens. Yes. Right? The other thing is that the previous time that Ippo fought Sendo, it was an absolutely beautiful moment, and it tore our hearts, right?
Moment?
At the end of the way it ended, with the fact that Sendo basically still wanted to fight, but his body gave up. His body could not keep up with his mind. Right. And then he couldn't stand back up. He was unconscious on the seat. Right. Yep. And that you don't exactly forget that, right? Both for Ippo and Sendo and for us. Yeah. So what is the ideal way to have it to one up that? To have it be something where his mind is able to keep up, and he makes his body do it, even though his body has given out. Right? Yep. And then what's the natural consequence of that?
His body gives out.
His body gives out in some more extreme sense, some permanent way. Yeah.
And that's something that's definitely going to be the case. It's just a question of how and all that and why. The other stuff that they brought up this episode rather early was really cool, was that Ippo ends up basically pulling his resolve through Sendo's punches. And they made this distinction about how the strength of Sendo is actually unmatched. He is the strongest boxer in Japan. He does have the strongest fists. Ippo comparing him to Date and saying strength alone, he's more terrifying than Date. But Ippo's thing that pulls him through this is resolve. He had his moment where his body gave out on him. Yeah. And he willed himself to get back up. Right. Sendo hasn't had a bigger moment than that for this match. So it is his turn in a lot of ways.
Sure.
It is his turn to go down and have to will himself back up. Now, my question to you, Jacob, is based on the kind of things we've had set up, based on all the things that this match has been built up towards, everything with the context, all this data. Do you think Sendo is going down just one more time?
Yeah.
Or more than once?
I think the next time he goes down, he's not going to get back up again. Ever.
Okay. So
because with where he is right now, with everything that's driving him and all of that stuff, and the fact that as much as his body is getting broken, he does have the strength to match.
Yes.
Right? He has the strength to match, but he's not invincible. So I think it's going to be something where it will, and that's also that will be a way to make it even more iconic, in that all of a sudden, in his previous fight, all of a sudden he was just unconscious. In this one, it's just all of a sudden he's dead or dying. That, so, and that'll be it. So
if he goes down, and they have it be just a instant hit where either the pain is too much, or the shock is too much, or the damage is such that his body is essentially shuts down,
drowning in his own blood,
whatever it is. The thing about that is that repeats the same thing, in my opinion, a bit too much from before. Or even if it does do that and it repeats it in a good way, it leads to him having his dramatic ending moment in the ring. And personally, I don't really want that.
Okay.
Now, I am trying to separate my want from what makes sense to predict here. But I feel like he's going to have a moment where we'll find out actually what the rules are for what the ref can stop the fight on. Like, that's how bad it's going to be. It's not going to be so bad that he'll die, but it's going to be so bad that he's like bleeding from the side, bleeding from the mouth, bleeding from the places, whatever. But if Sendo gets up, throws up his fighting stance, the coach doesn't throw in the towel, what can the ref do that overrides all of that?
Well, I think they brought it up with Ippo at one point where he got like a bleeder on his head or something like that, and they had to do something in order to stop the bleeding, because otherwise there was something about it where the ref has a specific thing where if there's like eye damage or something, right? Or what, I can't remember what it was. Maybe his eye was like swollen shut and they like cut it to make the swelling go down or something.
But that's not something of the ref calling the match. That's the ref just saying, fix that or the match is called.
Right. Yeah. So, it was always something where there was a literal mechanical thing where the ref could say, this is over, right? Because this criteria has been met. But
they're
Sendo's...
Right. But what I'm saying is that they're not going to do that to Sendo here.
Right.
That would be too cruel to have the match end because of a technicality call, because of the pain that he's suffered thus far.
He'll push through it
to
the end.
Right. In order to have it be something, though, where we see the results of this, is this going to be a thing where the actual big hit is what takes him down? Or is it going to be Sendo getting up from the big hit, having like a protagonist moment of like a shonen where the blood is just, ridiculous and he's somehow up and you're like, this defies all logic, and then they fight, and Ippo then is like, because this is something I almost want to see. I want to see Ippo traumatized before he takes Sendo down, where he realizes how much damage he's done. And then he's punching him in everywhere but the sensitive spot. Yeah. And he's just like, go down, please.
Yeah.
Go down already.
Right.
Like, that... That would be peak trauma for me. I don't know what the show is going to do for like probably what will be peak trauma for Ippo and or Sendo. But I know that would be it for me. Well, I would be just a puddle mess with this show. So
and I think it's going to be something along those lines. Whether they decide to bring out the torture with Ippo, realizing and still needing to do that and all that stuff, I do think it's going to be something where Sendo won't get taken out by a direct by a single direct final punch. Right?
Oh, okay.
It's that
okay, so
it's
you're with
going
me.
to
okay.
it's going to be the punches before then that cause the damage where you know, say the punctured lung, internal bleeding, all that stuff.
Obviously
And then-
that past stuff does matter,
Mhm.
but I was meaning, do you think that he will get taken down in one thing and then he won't get back up again?
No, because the way I see it, it's something where because I don't think Sendo's going to go down until he stays down. I think it's something where he's already been getting those punches, right? Ippo doesn't realize that they're those punches,
Sure,
right? But with the cracking of the ribs and all that stuff and everything, it's like
those are effectively those punches.
They're effectively those punches, but the thing is, he's staying up, right? Because he's not going to let him take him down. So the question is how many of those is he going to take before he goes down? And I love it because one of the things I was kind of wondering is, given that they did this with the turnaround, right? The multiple turnarounds where, you know, Sendo's destroying Ippo destroys Sendo, you know, back and forth. How do they make it so that just from a technical perspective, that the fight doesn't feel like it drags on, right? Because it's intense, but how do you make it so the intensity keeps going up, you know, until the fight's over, right?
You have to have moments of release of the tension before you build it back up again.
Yeah, you either have to have that, or you need to basically do what they did here, where they basically said, we are literally blowing out all the stops on the tension and the intensity of it and everything like that.
Well, they also changed the type of tension.
Yes.
It became less of a who's going to win tension and how much damage.
Yeah.
Can
Oh
they
my God!
sustain.
At what cost? Kind of tension. Yeah.
Right.
Right. And then you know, we're essentially, the fight is over.
The fight's already over.
The fight's already over.
Someone's going to lose, and it's probably
going to be Sendo.
Yeah.
But oh man, how long is he going to hold on?
Yeah.
You know,
it's impressive to see him shift back into those those barrages of punches, even though he's dealing with that, and his own punches are now hurting him.
Yeah,
that's badass. So, y'all, we are in it. We are in it, and these discussions have been going crazy long because this show is just absolutely nuts right now. But thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and the discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general, and you can also talk with Jake about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
Yeah, I wrote a sci-fi novel, and it was really cool, and it's on Amazon if you want to get it. Link in the description down below. Go check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.